Good evening, everyone. Boa noite, as we say in Portuguese. My name is Marco Chamlafel, and I'm lecturer in Portuguese at the Barbados Community College. Welcome to the virtual launching of Brazil 200 Years of Independence, History, Language, and Culture. It is a series of workshops, presentations, and discussions presented by the Embassy of Brazil in Bridgetown and the Barbados Language Centre, Barbados Community College. We have here with us tonight Mr. Carlos Kessel. He is Minister Counselor of the Embassy of Brazil in Bridgetown, and also Mr. Paul Blackman, Director of the Barbados Language Centre, Barbados Community College. We will start with a short video message that Mr. Carlos Kessel has left with you uh, to welcome you all to this launching.
Afternoon, I am Minister Consular Carlos Castle from the Embassy of Brazil in Bridgetown, Barbados, and I'm honored to be here today with you in the name of the Ambassador of Brazil in Barbados, Ambassador Vera Caminha Campetti, to open this series of workshops, presentations, and discussions which are being presented by the Embassy of Brazil with Professor Marco and with the Barbados Language Centre of the Barbados Community College. As you know, we are in 2022 commemorating 200 years of the independence of my country, Brazil. And to commemorate that, we decided not to hold just a party or not just to invite you over for a cocktail, but we decided to do something a little different. We wanted to be able to show you a little bit more of our country, of our history, of our culture, of our language, which is the Portuguese language, the same language that is spoken in Portugal, although with a different accent. And I am sure that most of you are aware of our culture, of our sports, of football, and also music, and many other things. But we would like to give you a wider and more profound view of our country. And this is why we decided to hold a series of lectures, of discussions, and also as a way of introducing you to Brazilian culture and to Brazilian history. 200 years is, of course, something that is worth commemorating. We were a colony, like many other countries in South America and Latin America, that became independent in the first half of the 19th century. Our process was a little bit different. It's going to be explained in one of the lectures. But anyway, here we are in Barbados, and being able to interact with you in this series is a great pleasure and a great honor. I will be joining you in a few of these lectures and discussions, and I really hope that at the end of it, you will going to be able to know a little bit more of my country, and also maybe to visit Brazil, to go to Brazil, to study, maybe to work. But anyway, I hope this series contributes to bringing our countries closer together. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy it.
We thank Mr. Kessel for those words, and I would like now to invite Mr. Paul Blackman, Barbados Language Centre, to say a few words regarding this initiative.
Good evening, all, and thank you, Marco. introduction. Before I speak to the project, I just want to say a few words about the Barbados Language Centre. We are a division of the Barbados Community College, and we provide language tuition students of the center and for potential additional foreign language, teach French, German, Italian, Spanish, and more recently, Portuguese and Chinese. An associate degree in French, Spanish, German, and Italian, and we offer continuing education courses in French, German, Spanish, and Italian, and soon we will be offering and Chinese. Um, Speaking specifically now to the project, we are extremely happy to be associated with this project. And when Secretary Kessel reached out to us, I had no hesitation in saying, yes, we'd love to partner with you. Yes, we do teach language, but it's impossible to teach a language without teaching about the culture of the country where that language is spoken. And so we fully endorse this series. We are extremely happy to be associated with the venture because it allows those of you interested in learning to speak Portuguese to learn about the people, their language, living, their music, their food, history, their architecture. Um, and it is my sincere hope that those of you who may not have been interested in learning the language but are specifically interested in the culture will be inspired to learn the language because the two are inseparable. You can't learn the language and not be associated with the culture. And so, in terms of our mandate of being more than just a teaching facility, but in being a cultural center, we are extremely happy to endorse this activity, to be associated with it. The lectures will be recorded and we will post them on our website. Marco will have a YouTube site, but we will post them on our website for all to see. I thank those of you who are here this evening for coming. Do spread the word. Tell your friends about the exercise. We'll obviously have some ads as well. But do certainly tell your friends and colleagues about the exercise. And even though the actual Independence Day is in September, it's still a little ways away. I want to say at this stage, happy independence to Brazil. We look forward to a celebration in September, but these activities will lead up to that, and that way you will have a better appreciation of the country, its people, its language. We all know Brazil. We all know of Pelé. We all like football. But there's more to Brazil than football. And thanks to Marco and to also Professor Kessel, and you will learn a lot more about the country and its culture. So once again, Marco, I thank you and the Embassy of Brazil for wanting to partner with us. We're happy to be a partner with you, and we look forward to further collaboration. We've already started an elective in Portuguese this semester. It was very well received, and it's interesting that in September we will be starting a Portuguese class, and I hope evening class, and I hope therefore that. Those of you who are here and others who will see the series will be encouraged to come and participate in that class. Again, thank you, and I wish you a successful series, and you can count on us whatever support that you need to ensure that it is a success. Thanks again.
Thank you very much, Paul, for your words. And as you rightly say, there's no way of learning a foreign language if you don't learn culture and some of the history uh, involved in that language or in that country. It is essential. Uh, Although that is obviously an integral part of learning a foreign language, learning Portuguese in this case, the series here comes to anyone interested in Brazil in general, and not necessarily with an interest in learning the language. But obviously, if you are interested in learning the language, the series also is a very interesting way of introducing um, Brazilian culture and Brazilian language. Actually, I will soon show you what our plans are for over the next weeks in this series of seminar discussions that, as you saw in the invitation, we call seminar discussion, workshop, a bit of everything. And why? Because the format of this series is open. And it's open in a way that it will not be just presentations, it will be also interaction with the people participating. And I will invite people over. So basically, often I will be the host and somebody else will be presenting, so some guests will be presenting, but I will also do some presentations. I will show you that soon, but I can already tell you right now that we already have all our uh, Thursdays, so it will always take place on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Every week during about an hour. Okay, and the month of August is already all planned. I will start next week doing a general introduction on Brazil for people that does not have so much of an idea what Brazil is all about, some general aspects. But even though if you know already about Brazil, it may be interesting because you will be learning a few things that you probably never thought about or you don't know. So it will be a general introduction next week. The following week will be a general introduction into the language. So a former student of mine, perhaps with my help, I don't think my help will be needed, but perhaps she will ask me to help her as well. She will present some very basic Portuguese for people that are interested in learning a little bit of Portuguese, like the basic greetings, basic ways of talking about yourself and how to say hi, good afternoon, good morning, or my name is. So you will have the second week a notion of Portuguese language, okay? In the third week of August, we will probably have a historian, a lecturer from the University of the West Indies that will talk because we are commemorating 200 years of Brazil, independence of Brazil this year. She will be present 2 or 3 times during this series because we want to put everything in context. And the first thing we would like to understand is what happened just before Brazil got independent. So what were the reasons? What were the causes that led Brazil to become independent in 1822? So you will understand that, and later you will also understand what are the developments that occurred in Brazil after independence and how did that go. So at least for those 2 sessions, she will be there. Okay. Then we will also have a session with a Barbadian, Dr. Frederick Aline, whose PhD was about the Barbadians that immigrated to Brazil. So the history of Barbadians in Brazil and what is that relation between Brazilians and Barbadians. I remember he had a presentation called Millie Gone to Brazil, and that was his title for the presentation. So he will be with us and discuss that interesting aspect that connects Brazil and Barbados. Okay. Following on, we will have conversations with different people, people that studied in Brazil, people that went to Brazil as a tourist. I will invite over probably someone from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Barbados to discuss how are the relations, the diplomatic relations, and what is the history of the diplomatic relation between Brazil and Barbados. We will also discuss aspects like basic aspects of our culture, like music, samba. We will discuss football. We will have some sessions where we will show you how to cook typical Brazilian dishes and what the history behind those Brazilian dishes are, and other aspects. So it's a very open series. As you see, is a very open format. It will not have a format of very academic citing theory or author this, author that. It will be more hands-on and a practical way of learning about Brazil. Let me show you now what the plans are. So those plans are also open to suggestions and to changes for the next weeks. So as you see, the series is called Brazil, 200 Years of Independence, History, Language, and Culture. And here you see we have a few topics that I already listed that we will discuss. So I will briefly show this. We will also discuss, Brazil offers scholarships for people that want to study in Brazil. I will invite over some students that graduated in Brazil and that still live in Brazil or that came back to Barbados to discuss cultural aspects about all that. We will also watch a short movie and from there on also discuss a little bit about Brazilian cinema, as you see there. See topic here is football, or interesting like a typical Brazilian dish, churrasco, barbecue from southern Brazil, or we will also discuss samba, as you see here. Um, what else? So next page, we will discuss like musical movements that also are cultural movements, tropicalia, for example. You can learn about that. Or a typical dish from the northeast of Brazil called acarajé. Okay, also about some Afro-Brazilian religions that have a very have a big cultural importance in Brazil, or about new tendencies in Brazilian music, or about the so typical Brazilian soap operas that they have even their own name. They're called telenovelas, and topics like that. Okay, so this is just the whole idea is giving you an overview of what will be done here over next weeks. Okay, and that's basically it. So the idea today was showing you um, what we will do over the next weeks. Okay, and just a glimpse. And we will really start next week on Thursday at 6 p.m. Okay, so this session is, as Paul already said, being recorded, and there will be a dedicated YouTube channel for all the videos of the series. If you really are participating in 80% of the sessions, or even all the sessions, or more than 80% of the sessions, the Brazilian embassy will offer you a certificate of participation. So that may help you to beautify, let's say, your CV later. And also, perhaps this is not 100% confirmed, there also may be a course, an intermediary Portuguese course that will be offered later for people that are interested in studying in Brazil or to improve the language knowledge they already have. Okay, but that's not confirmed yet. But those are all initiatives that we will jointly initiatives between the Embassy of Brazil in Bridgetown and Barbados Language Centre. Okay, so that's it from me. I don't know, Paul, do you still want to comment or say something?
No, other than to encourage people to participate and tell their friends about it, and you know, get that beautiful certificate. I hope that there'll be many people who participate. And again, we're glad to be associated with the initiative, and you can surely count on our support. Thanks all for coming, and thank you, Marco, for work that you've done thus far.
Yes. So as last thing, I don't know if is there somebody in the public that would like to ask any question or has any doubts, would like to comment something? You can open the floor if you would like to say something. Yes, I see Deborah. I know Deborah best. You want to say something, Deborah? Go ahead.
Hi, yes, please. Good evening.
You can even, good evening. You can even open your camera if you wish so.
Next time.
Okay, cool.
I joined a little bit late, but I wanted to know if any of the sessions would be face to face.
We may consider that. I don't know what the current protocols are because we're in the middle of session. Paul, is there any possibility that we could have a face-to-face session, face-to-face sessions?
As long as the protocols allow it. Remember, we would have to abide by the protocols, wearing our masks, physical distancing, and sanitizing. But we could have a session on campus. Numbers would be limited, obviously, because of the pandemic. But certainly, we would be open to having a few sessions live on campus. So we could give consideration to that. So I'll discuss with Marco, with our administration, to see how feasible that would be.
Yeah. Also, we have to consider, Deborah, that some of the people I will invite over for discussion or presentation, they will be abroad. So a purely face-to-face session I doubt that will happen. So what can happen is that we do face-to-face session in a hybrid mode that will be at the same time. Be online and recorded, okay? Because some people will not be able to be physically present here because they are not even in Barbados. So that also will make it impossible to be purely face-to-face, I guess.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Welcome. Anybody else wants to say something or ask something? Oh, I see my colleague is joining here, Frederick Aline. We can just ask him about it. Oh no, okay. Lost connection again. Anyway, so if no, it's not working. Paul, you are muted. Frederick, hello, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yes, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I just mentioned your name and I was talking about your work on the pages in Brazil. So, and I confirmed that you are ready to do a presentation in the next weeks. Is that right?
Okay. Sorry, don't have my camera on, but you are hearing me good?
Yes, yes.
Good, 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 good. I'm trying to use my cell phone. Yes, I'm happy to be here this evening. Very happy also about this initiative. And well, my work, I have my thesis was on the Barbadian migration to Brazil and British Guyana, but we are here this evening about Brazil. And it's a very interesting study. It's many people were not aware of the connection in terms of migration between Barbados and Brazil. And that is one of the reasons I pursued it. And of course, most Barbadians heard the song and would have sung the song "Millie Gone to Brazil." So that was their notion of Brazil. Of course, most of them did not know that the song had uh, that it was a real situation that had occurred. So I went off and I decided to pursue this mysterious migration of Barbadians to Brazil. And yes, there is a very vibrant Barbadian community in Brazil, mostly centered around Portobello, which was originally, at least for some time, called, it was even known as Barbados Town. And
Okay,
so
Frederick, don't
yes,
talk
please.
too much about it. Otherwise, you're spoiling your own presentation. But it is
Okay.
very interesting. Just a nice taste of it, so people will be
Good,
interested
good.
when
Okay,
it's
then.
your turn. So yes, you
All right.
confirmed
Okay,
actually
good.
then that you will be there for our discussions, right?
Yes, I thought you wanted me to speak this evening, but no problem. I'll wait for that.
No, no, no,
No
no,
problem.
no, no. And we already know that Billy did not go to Brazil, actually, right? Unfortunately.
Yes.
We also have here Leonora. Yes, Frederick. Sorry.
No, I will continue to listen.
Yeah. Okay. Good. We also have here
Good.
Leonora. Leonora, do you want to say something? Because it will be your turn in 2 weeks' time, as you know, don't you?
No problem. I'll be ready then.
Okay. Leonora.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Good evening.
Yes. Yes. Sure.
Out and fair.
Okay, because I was having a little bit of problems with Teams. It always freezes my computer, but it'll be fun to talk about some of the basic phrases and ways to greet people, etc. in Portuguese, and get a little taste of the language, more or less.
Yes. So it will be your turn in 2 weeks' time then. And you can confirm that already, right?
Yes.
Good. And if you need any help, Deborah is there, or any other of your colleagues can also help you.
Yes, please.
And if there is no way out, I will be there to help you as well, but I don't think that will be needed.
Yes, so true.
Okay, anybody else wants to say something? Otherwise, that's from me today. So this was just the introduction of the series, and next week we will start it effectively. So this was just an announcement. If nobody else has anything to say, so I say boa noite, ciao, and hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.
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 Ciao.
Ciao.